Log into your AWS Educate account. Select IoT Core. From the IoT Core options, click on the Manage and click on the Things, and you can create a register thing. I'm going to select a single thing and name the thing. After naming the thing, and click on Next. Click on Create Certificate. This step will create all the security certificates which enables the devices to communicate with IoT Core. So download these security certificates and preserve it. Also download the root certificate. I'm going to store root CA1 in my local system. After downloading all the certificate in your local system, click on Activate to activate all the certificates. Then click Done to complete the things creation. This step created security certificate as well. So go to Secure, click on Policies and create policy. So I'm going to create a sample policy, my first policy. So this policy allows what are the possible actions are allowed. You can say IoT:*. So I'm not restricting any actions, so I'm letting the device to perform any operations through this particular policy. Also give the resources as star, and in the effects click allow or select allow and create the policy. Then click on certificates, select the ID, then go to actions, attach policy as well as a thing. So this is a policy which we already created. Select the policy, attach the policy with the security certificates, attach thing. This is a thing we already created. Attach it with the security certificates. So the step is completed. Go to test and MQTT test client. Here you can specify the topic for the communication. Now the entire IoT core is ready to receive communication from the client program. So before we start executing the client program, we have downloaded set of certificates. Those certificates we supposed to move to the place where we have our program. So copy, and I'm going to move it to the place where I have the program. Open the program. This is a program I have the client connection. So this program consists of all the security credentials that is required to establish a connection with IoT core, which includes key path, certificate path, CA path, and client ID and host. Those parameters will have to change it now. Now copy the private key .pem and the file name you give it in the program. Now similarly we have to copy the path of certificate PEM which we downloaded from the IoT core, and replace it in the certificate path. And the name of root certificate, it remains same, so you need not change that. And the client ID is nothing but the ID which we have created. So go to things, select the thing and click on interact, where we'll get the unique HTTP address to communicate with this specific thing. So replace host by the address which we have copied from the thing. Here, as part of this program, I am going to establish a communication with IoT core. So here I am going to pass 10 messages to the IoT core, to a specific thing. So here I am going to pass temperature and humidity. So both I have generated as a random number. So the topic we are going to establish our communication is topic underscore 2, and the temperature value is nothing but it is a value or random number generated in the variable random number, and humidity is nothing but the variable name generate number 1. Now you can go to test, in that select MQTT test client. The topic which we have given in the client program is topic underscore 2. The same topic we'll have to give and give subscribe. So whatever the data passed from the client under the topic underscore 2 will be received on the IoT core. Now the terminal I am going to execute the sample program which we have created. So on executing this program, 10 different sensor values will be passed to IoT core. So if you come to IoT core, you can see the messages which is received from the sensor node or edge network. Basically these are nothing but the random numbers generated from the Node.js program. So click on act and create the rule. So the other way around, you can directly go to IoT analytics, and you can specify the name IoT analytic resources, and also you can mention on what topic it's supposed to listen. So I have mentioned the same topic which I have mentioned in the Node.js program, that is our client program, topic underscore 2, and click on quick rate. So this step will create channel, pipeline, data store and data sets automatically. So if you go to channel, this particular pane describes the information about the channel. Also you can edit the channel validity date, modify it, and you can specify the number of days the channel must be active. So this kind of settings is possible for across all different services provided under IoT analytics. Click on pipeline, select the pipeline. So this pipeline primarily specifies what is the input channel, what is the output data store. So this is the data store information. Still, like channel, in the data store also you can specify what is the validity period of the data store, and if you wanted to select part of the data from the data store, you can go to dataset, where you can write the query to select what part of the data we supposed to access it from the data store. So we can write a select query here. Using select query, we can select portion of the data from the data store. Now we have created a IoT analytics and mapped that IoT analytics by a topic. Let us go back to IoT core. And click on test events. Go to MQTT test client. Specify the topic. Come back and execute the program again. This time I am going to send 50 packets. So execute the program. Now this will send 50 packets to IoT core. IoT core in turn passes the values back to IoT analytics. So we are receiving a packet from the client node, that is the sensor values. So the moment it is receiving it in the IoT core, similarly it will be delivered in the IoT analytics as well. Go back to IoT analytics. Select the data set and click on the data set which we have created, and you can select the action, click on run. So this will execute the query against the data store and it will give you the result. Sometime it will take some time to get the result. Run it again. So here we got the temperature as well as humidity value from the sensors. In addition to that, we also have the timestamp. You can also download the dataset which you received in your local system, and this can be used for your own purpose. Maybe this dataset can be feed to any local programs to take some decisions. Also, we can restrict the query. Instead of retrieving all the data from the data store, we can write the condition like we wanted to retrieve the temperature which is greater than 40. So 40, yeah. So give the test query. So we will get the portion of the data which retrieved from the data store. So once we set this particular option, and whenever we get packet from the sensors, so we will get only temperature greater than 40. Now let us go back to the IoT core and we check what happened in the background. So in this process we haven't created any rules. Go to Act, select the rules. If you see, with the same name, a rule has been already created. Click on the rule and see we have receiving all the packets from topic underscore 2, and automatically the IoT core has created a channel to the IoT analytics. Not only that, it also created the role. In addition to that, if you wanted to add any other actions, it is possible, such as connecting to S3 or pushing it to Lambda. Let us go back to test client. I'm going to subscribe to the same topic again. Let me go back to the client program. I'm going to execute the client program again. So this time I'll get 50 more packets delivered in the topic underscore 2. Now let us go back to IoT analytics. These are the packets which we are currently receiving, and select it. Now click on channels, click on the channel which we have created and down. So here you can see what is the current activities going on in this particular channel. You can see the 50 packets we have received. Similarly, go to datasets, click on the dataset which we have created, run the dataset. Now you can see only the data where the temperature is greater than 40. So though we receive all the data, as we included the condition, we'll see temperature greater than 40. Let us go back to notebook and let us create a notebook. Click on blank notebook, give the notebook name, and you can select the data source, which we have created, and create the notebook instance. So the notebook which I am going to create is my first instance, and select the instance type as medium and create the new role. Click on create to create the role. Now click on create notebook instance to create the notebook instance. So this will take several minutes to get completed. The main intention of this notebook is to access the data which we received from the IoT core. Now the notebook is in the still pending stage, and the same notebook can also be accessed from the SageMaker. Specify SageMaker. So SageMaker is the machine learning platform. So click on the notebook and click on the notebook instance. Here you can see the same notebook here with the status of pending. So this is the notebook we have actually created from the IoT analytics. The same notebook entry will also be there in the SageMaker. So once the notebook is successfully created, the status will be changed into in service. Now click on the notebook which we have created and select Open Jupyter. And click on New and select Conda Python 3. This is the runtime we are going to use. Now we have received data in the IoT analytics, and we are connecting the IoT analytics data to directly a SageMaker. So this is a sample program which I already have. I am going to copy the code and paste it in the environment, where I am going to import set of statements, execute, and import the client library, that is IoT analytics, execute. and copy the statements where we can import our data set. Here the data set to be accessed in the form of URL. Before that, the data set can be accessed by specifying the data set name. Go back to IoT Analytics, click on the data sets, click on the data set name, copy the name of the data set and give it in the Jupyter notebook. Now this dataset can be accessed in the form of a dataset URL. Now you can perform wide variety of operations on the dataset. So before that, load the dataset into the pandas data frame. So I'm going to display first few rows of the dataset. Say for example, you want to find the information about the temperature, or you want to find how that temperature, what kind of temperature has been received, all those information. So for example, you want to go for a plotting, just give plot. Okay. Enable the legend, execute this query, and you can see how the temperature has been received in the IoT code. This is a temperature which is generated by the sensor. The same statement can also be executed for the humidity. Once you bring the data into the Jupyter Notebook environment, you can perform any kind of analytics operation as well as the machine learning operation on the data which you have received. The examples I am showing it here is a sample operations. You can perform any operations as you like. So I'm just giving a value count, so it gives you how many unique number of temperatures I have received, the number of occurrences of each and every temperature. So for example, I want to find what is the mean of the temperature. So all this you can perform under the same environment. So any analytics operations you can perform. So I'm just showing you sample operations. And if you want to find what is the total number of data which we received in the stipulated time period, you can use length of data frame. You can use any kind of similar operations.